Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome the Pride of the Green Wave Marching Band.
with you at halftime tonight. Welcome back to our Aflac halftime show alongside Jonathan Parks. My name is Will Bowling. Glad you're sticking with us tonight, wherever you may be watching. We're thankful you decided to join us for Gallatin and Hendersonville, and so far it's the Green Wave and a long run from Spencer Briggs. They lead the Commandos 10-0. It will be Gallatin football to start the second half. It sounds cliche, Jonathan Parks, but the opening possession of the second half, absolutely pivotal for Hendersonville to not let this one get away from them. Because if Gallatin marches down the field and puts 7 points on the board, the way their defense has played the last couple of weeks, that might be enough for the Green Wave to get a victory tonight.
Oh, definitely. And, I mean, what air is left in Hendersonville's tires, you know, they're going to have to get a stop right here and get that momentum going. Hendersonville is moving the football. And we were all up here talking in the press box. It's not that they're playing bad football. They have had several mistakes. They've had an almost muff punt where the guy didn't call the fair catch. They had a turnover right here at the end of the half. And they fumbled once. And because of that, Gallatin has been able to keep the ball. I'd be interested in seeing the time of possession because that Hendersonville defense has been on the field a long time tonight. And Hendersonville needs to get a stop right here. And they need to finish drives like you talked about in the first half. If they could just finish a drive and put some air back in their tires, we might have ourselves a ball game.
Halftime coverage of the marching bands, who both did a terrific job, and all of our halftime coverage here brought to you by Aflac. For more than 60 years, Aflac has been a leading supplemental insurance provider, helping millions of people get back on their feet, letting them focus on recovery instead of how to pay the bills. Supplemental coverage for all life's moments for you and your employees at aflac.com. Just a minute away now from the Army second half kickoff. The U.S. Army has over 150 jobs to start your career. Find one that's right for you at goarmy.com or call them at 1-888-550-ARMY. Parents, find out more about U.S. Army careers and get answers to your questions at goarmy.com/parents. Third quarter of action tonight is powered by the Coleman Group. They bring you Wilson County coverage all season long on tnhighschoolfootball.com. Sponsored by Andrew Coleman and the Coleman Group at Parks Realty. Your new home awaits at thecolemangroup.net. You can call them at 615-583-5050. The Coleman Group has offices in Mount Juliet and Hendersonville. Meet Andrew, Jane, and Caitlin Coleman now at thecolemangroup.net. It will be Gallatin football to start the second half of play. Not an empty seat here on the home side of the bleachers below us. Get you some scores from around Middle Tennessee as the third quarter starts. And we'll update you on the one score that we mentioned in the first quarter. McCauley and Father Ryan in a tight one, and the Big Blue have now taken a lead, 27-21. That one just started in the third quarter. But the ball is on the tee. It's kicked back to Spencer Briggs in Gallatin, who takes it from his own 2-yard line. Briggs, 15, up to the 20-yard line where he's taken down. That football came out, but the referee is going to whistle that he was down. And at the end of that play, Spencer Briggs went down awkwardly, and he is slow to get up at his own 20-yard line. Now up to his knees with his fists on the ground, his head pointed down at the turf. Chats with a couple of trainers and now a coach that comes out to meet with his tailback.
Briggs trying to get lower than the defender, and the defender did a great job of getting low and wrapping up those legs and might have been able to put a helmet on he jumps up.
Yeah, he's able to walk off under his own power. No help needed from the training staff, and gives his teammates a couple of high fives. Gets a hug from a coach, and you'll hope he's all right, no matter who you're cheering for tonight. Watching number 6 carry the football is a treat. So after the 20-yard return, first down and 10 for Gallatin. The quarterback, the junior Montez Banks, joining the shotgun alongside Malachi McDowell, who gets the give. McDowell cuts it up near the near side, where he's brought down by Logan Spurrier. A different kind of runner, McDowell, listed at 5'9", 160, a bit shiftier than the big bruiser in Briggs.
McDowell just really able to do a skip jump right out of the hole and hit the backside, but Hendersonville's linebackers able to field pretty quickly.
Play gains 4, second down and 6, ball on the left hash. Gallatin starting at its own 20-yard line, now to its 24. Banks sends the tight end in motion. Now gives McDowell, running left side. He's got a hole, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 40, 35, and he's pushed out of bounds by Isaiah Chandler. Number 6 goes out. Number 26 says, I'll pick up right where you left off.
He's definitely more of a savvy runner, just able to make some quick adjustments to where he was going. And
gain of 46, first down and 10. Gallatin already ready to snap the football. It is McDowell running left again, moves the legs past a couple of arm tackles inside the 30-yard line, where he's gang tackled at the 27. It's the exact same play call right there from a Gallatin offense, and if it ain't broke, why fix it?
Gallatin just trying to hurry up to the line and get a score on the board and seal the deal for this game. Kind of caught Hendersonville off guard right there.
And now they'll take a little bit more time to get the call in the huddle. Now they break. Banks the quarterback, and number 6 right back in there, Spencer Briggs on the left hip of the junior signal caller. They fake the give to Briggs. It's Banks keeping left side inside the 25, where he's tackled at the Hendersonville 20 for a first down. It was Nevin DeGraff who made the tackle.
Great job by the QB right there. Reading that in, crashing down, kept the ball. Great pickup for the first down.
Play gains 7. It's first down and 10 Gallatin. With right at 2 minutes already ticked off the clock in the third quarter. They're 20 yards away from their second touchdown of the night. Banks gets the snap, hands off to Briggs running up the middle. There is a whistle, and false start is going to be called on the Gallatin offensive line. So that'll move him back 5 yards, back to the Hendersonville 25-yard line, where it will be first down and 15. Mount Juliet and Oak Ridge in a shootout right now, 27-all at halftime in that one. Brentwood leading Franklin 16-0. Shelbyville 21, Summit 9 across the mid-state right now. First down and 15 now for Banks as Solomon Yarbrough comes in motion, running left to right, gets the jet sweep, dances by one defender, but he's ultimately going to be gang tackled in the backfield for a loss of 1. A nice push by the Hendersonville defense going from right to left, and they swarm to the ball carrier, and that sets up second down at 16.
Hendersonville's done a great job all night of swarming to the football. They just had a few missed tackles here and there. And offensively, they just got to get stuff going.
9 minutes to play in the third quarter. Gallatin 10, Hendersonville nothing. The Green Wave driving deep into Commandos territory. 2 receivers to the left and 1 to the right for Banks. Gives running up the middle, Spencer Briggs inside the 25, but really no room to move those legs quickly and gain any momentum. It's big number 51. We've called his name a lot tonight, J.D. Jordan. The linebacker makes the stop, and it brings up third down and long. The ball rests just over the Hendersonville 25-yard line. Gallatin needs the Commandos 10 in order to keep the drive alive. Place kicker Trace Kelly has connected once already tonight. That was from 31 yards out on the right hash to make this a 10-0 game in the second quarter. Empty shotgun for Banks. 5 wide receivers. It's a run all the way, running to the right side. Now comes back upfield, and there's no running room at all. Hendersonville swarming once again. Evan Zecco made the stop. And it's an easy decision for Chad Watson. And Gallatin, here comes the kicking unit on for a 42-yard field goal.
Gallatin just trying to spread the Hendersonville defense out by going empty. It was a QB run all the way, and quarterback just kept it in the middle, setting up for the field goal.
Phillips to snap, Springer to hold, Trace Kelly to attempt. He's connected once tonight. In between the hash marks from 42 yards. The lefty lets it fly, and that kick is up, and it splits the uprights. Good. Gallatin adds to its lead. It's still a two-possession game with 7 minutes, 33 seconds to play in the third quarter of this one. The Green Wave 13, the Commandos nothing. So Jonathan Parks, Hendersonville gives up the big play, but it manages to hold to 3, and you can live with that if you're a Hendersonville fan right now. And now head coach James Beasley needs his offense to string together a long drive that finally could result in some points.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, this is probably the drive of the night for Hendersonville. They need to put points on the board. They need to keep the drive alive, and in order to do that, they're going to have to continue to make first downs and not turn over the football.
Gallatin is looking for its 5th consecutive shutout of the season. They gave up 7 points on opening night to Lebanon. They gave up 14 in a 49-14 win against Hillsborough. Other than that, nobody has managed a single point. Shutouts against Station Camp, Mount Juliet on the road, Hillwood, Wilson Central, and Hunters Lane. And that Gallatin defense that pitched a first-half shutout will come onto the field here in just a moment. Trace Kelly lets it fly into the air. Not a long kick. It's fielded at the 15-yard line, and there's a little bit of running room for Hendersonville. The returner gets up to the 30-yard line. That was Isaiah Chandler, the tailback. So decent field position for the Commandos, who are let out once again by the senior quarterback, Drew Hohenbrink.
Gallatin getting a little bit chippy on that kickoff team. They're up 13-0. Just need to stay calm, cool, and collective and finish this ball game out.
These teams have met 10 times since 2010 when they played in 2 straight weeks back in 2010 in the 5A playoffs. Hendersonville has won 4 out of the last 5 matchups. Trying to make it 3 in a row with a comeback win tonight. This is Logan Spurrier running near side, 35. He's close to the first down where he's finally tripped up by the defensive lineman Morgan Smith. They bring Spurrier in motion again, and number 7 for Hendersonville has had most of the positive plays for the Commandos so far tonight.
And we've said it time and time and time again tonight. Hendersonville is moving the football. They're being successful moving the football. It's just they're not finishing drives. They're turning the ball over. So they really need to finish this drive right here and put some points on the board.
Trailing 13-0, they face second down and 3 at their own 38. Hohenbrink to pass all the way. He's got plenty of time. Now the pressure gets to him quickly. Gets away from one tackler. Now pump fakes, decides to run it, and he's taken down in the backfield. Oh, but it could have been so much worse. A.J. Branham on the right side of the defensive line. There was no pressure, and all of a sudden it was like a green wave breaking through the Hendersonville offensive line. Hohenbrink did his best to make the most out of it. He loses 5, and it sets up 3rd down and 8.
Quarterback saw his first read covered up and tried to pump towards his second read, and there was nothing there. And then all of a sudden, Briggs just come out of nowhere, was able to get hands on him.
Hendersonville desperately needs to sustain this drive. They hand it off, running left side of the tailback, Chandler, and he will have his first down. Across the 40-yard line, Chandler made a couple of guys miss running on the sweep from right to left, cuts it upfield nicely, and that is a big first down conversion for the Commandos offense that's quickly back on the ball. Hohenbrink under center. Chandler comes in motion to left side again. They give it to him on the sweep, up to the 45. Chandler breaks it upfield into Gallatin territory where he's a yard shy of his first down. I can't catch my breath. I know that Isaiah Chandler probably can't catch his breath either.
Hendersonville's found something on that left side they really, really like, and they're going to keep picking it.
Tempo offense again, up to the Gallatin 47. It's Chandler in motion. It's the same exact play. He'll run left side, and he'll have a first down. Tackle was made by Emmett Jackson. It's a pickup of 2 to move the chains. And you're right, Jonathan Parks. Hendersonville is showing the exact same look. Isaiah Chandler is sitting on the right side of the offensive line. He's coming in motion and running to the left and finding space every time.
Hendersonville just pulling 2 linemen, able to get out wide and just pretty much running off tackle. Washing the Gallatin defensive line down and getting positive yards.
Owen Brink breaks the huddle, leading his offense back out. Under center, first down and 10 at the Gallatin 45, trailing 13-0. It's a sweep again, this time to Chandler, running left side again, but A.J. Branham was in the backfield to wrestle him down. That's a loss of 3. Instead of running behind the fullback that time, they run him right behind the quarterback to try to catch the defense off guard, but Gallatin was ready.
And that's one thing you got to make sure you do when you pull a guy right there. Defensive end was able to crash down and get to him before he got outside. Great job by Branham right there.
Second down and 13 after the first down play loses yardage. Gives up to the fullback, and just like that, Keon Stafford sprints ahead up to the 42-yard line. It wasn't a very long run, but as soon as he got the football, put that head down and picked up about 6.
And they tried that fullback up the middle a few times in the first half, but they didn't have the outside run game going like they did on this drive, and he was able to pick up a few more yards.
Surely 4-down territory with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, 3rd down and 7. Spurrier running near side, cuts upfield, but there is nowhere to go. James Mason, the senior linebacker, the leading tackler for the Green Wave defense, comes up with a big stop, and now it's decision time for the Commandos.
You know, you talked earlier about one of the guys being an eraser for another team. He was definitely an eraser right there. Couple missed opportunities, and he just comes and cleans it up.
4th down, 9. Hohenbrink running the triple option. He is stuffed. Christopher Kemp on the tackle, but James Mason read the snap count, blitzed the A-gap through the center and the guard, and Jonathan Parks, that play, had no chance. Gallatin gets it right back at its own 45. I've always said that the best way to stop the option is to give the quarterback no option. When you can time the snap count like Gallatin did right there, even the best offensive coordinators can't scheme around that.
And you gotta change your snap count up. I mean, at every level, you gotta change.
That's the way to do it. Shotgun for Montez Banks, leading his offense out onto the field. As Gallatin looks to make it a 3-score game, there is a flag though, and a costly penalty now for the Green Wave. They're going to be whistled for delay of game on its first play after a big turnover on 4th down.
You know, you have a big play like that, everybody gets excited. You're trying to change the defense over to the offense, and you lose track of time. Got to hurry up to that football when you're coming from the sideline to the field.
1st and 15. Gallatin now back to its own 40. Fake to give to Briggs. Banks running right side. He's got the corner. 45-50. Puts his foot in the ground and cuts it upfield into Hendersonville territory. And across the 45-yard line down to the Commandos' 42. That's a pickup of 18 to move the chains. And now Banks is starting to run free a little bit.
I'd be willing to say now it's official that Gallatin has a 3-headed monster on offense.
Already 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. This game has raced by. And it helps that you've got two teams that run the ball as successfully as Hendersonville and Gallatin both do. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the right. Banks on 1st and 10. A flag flies again, and I believe the offensive line jumped, and they did. So instead of 1st and 10 at the Hendersonville 42, it'll be 1st and 15 at the Hendersonville 47. These are two offenses, Coach Parks, that have stayed ahead of the chains, but have only really gotten stopped when they've stopped themselves.
You're exactly right, especially Hendersonville.
Yep.
I mean, they have moved the ball very well tonight and just come up short.
2.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Gallatin 13, Hendersonville nothing. Banks for the Green Wave. He'll air it out. Banks got his man. 15, 10. Fighting inside the 5, down to the 1, into the end zone. Jalen Grimmett, 47 yards, and the Green Wave are rolling tonight at home.
What a great night for these seniors. A new coaching staff. Just awesome.
With 2 minutes and 12 seconds, it's Gallatin 19, Hendersonville nothing. The special teams unit in that swinging gate. They shift the offensive line from the left side of the field now back into the middle between the hash marks. Phillips to snap. Springer to hold. The lefty Trace Kelly to attempt. The snap, the set, and the kick are good. 2 minutes, 12 seconds to play. Gallatin is about 14 minutes away from a big rivalry win at home at Calvin Short Field. They lead the Commandos of Hendersonville 20-0. Third quarter tonight is sponsored by the Coleman Group. They bring you Wilson County coverage all season long. Andrew Coleman and the Coleman Group at Parks Realty. Your new home awaits at thecolemangroup.net. You can give them a call at 615-583-5050. The Coleman Group now has offices in Mount Juliet and Hendersonville. Meet Andrew, Jane, and Caitlin Coleman now at thecolemangroup.net. On senior night, it's all Gallatin. Despite a successful opening possession of the second half for the Commandos, Gallatin's defense did what it has done all season. When they needed a stop, they get a stop. And a 47-yard throw from Montez Banks right on the money for Jalen Grimmett. Makes it a 3-score game and nearly an insurmountable deficit for these Commandos. Ball is on the tee for Trace Kelly. Back to receive Johnson and Chandler. And that kick will sail out of bounds at the 10-yard line. So Hendersonville will have it with excellent field position to start this drive. And the Commandos, led by quarterback Drew Hohenbrink, have looked dangerous at times, but this Gallatin defense that forced 6 turnovers in its last win over Hunter's Lane has forced Hendersonville to cough up the football 2 times. And that right now could be the difference in this being a tight ball game and a 3-score ball game.
One thing I noticed, you just look at this difference in the sidelines. You see Gallatin down here, all the hustle and bustle. Everybody's engaged. The crowd's engaged. The players not playing are engaged.
At the 35-yard line, Spurrier gets the carry out of the shotgun, and he just falls down right as he tries to cut it upfield. Slipping on the turf. So he loses 2 yards on first down and 10, sets up second down and 13 with Hendersonville trailing Gallatin 20-0. They clap the hands together and break the huddle. Shotgun set for the second consecutive play. First time they've done that all night. Spurrier running right again, trips again, and just falls forward close to the original line of scrimmage at the 34-yard line. I don't know if his shoes aren't tied or what, but that's 2 consecutive plays that Logan Spurrier has just fallen to the ground before a green jersey has touched him.
What's going on right there is the mesh point is too close together, and he's tripping over the quarterback as he takes a step and follows his fake through the backside. Got to make sure you have enough space in your mesh point.
Third down, 12. Blitz from Mason. Hohenbrink back to throw. Throws to his left, off the hands of his intended target, Isaiah Chandler. Incomplete. And here comes the punting unit for Hendersonville, who is maybe starting to wave a white flag here with 1 minute to play in the third quarter.
You look at the Hendersonville sideline, and they're just flat-footed, standing still. You don't see guys congratulating guys. And tonight, they haven't played bad football. They just haven't been able to finish drives and, make positive things happen when they get inside Green Wave territory.
O'Brien to punt, back from his own 20-yard line. The high spiraling kick bounces at the Green Wave 37-yard line. And that's where it's caught on a bounce by Jalen House.
I was going to say earlier, when you get up like this close to the playoffs, you want to start bringing players in and letting them get some playing time so they can fulfill that backup role. But when you have a team like Hendersonville in a rivalry game, they're moving the ball well. They're just not finishing, and you got to be really careful because they'll sneak up and score on you. And then next thing you know, you're trying to play those younger guys, and you end up back in a ball game.
First down and 10, Gallatin at its own 35-yard line. Exactly a minute to play in the third quarter. Banks gets it. Quarterback keep all the way across the 40-yard line, and he's tackled by a swarm of commandos at the Green Wave 43-yard line. These are two teams that will almost surely head back to the postseason. Gallatin has clinched that. They'll play for a region title next week in a big one, and here in Sumner County against Beach. Two teams that are 3-0 in the region. Gallatin will finish the year with Glencliff. Hendersonville has Rossview and Mount Juliet still on the schedule. Second down and 3. Briggs carrying up the middle, dances by an arm tackle, bowls over a defender, and turns the legs inside Hendersonville territory at the 49-yard line. And every coach wearing a white and green jacket on the home sideline has 4 fingers flying in the air. As the final seconds tick off of the third quarter, Gallatin is 12 minutes away from a big rivalry win over 6A Hendersonville. With 12 minutes to play, Green Wave 20, Commandos nothing. The fourth quarter is coming up next. John Barker's Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet is a proud supporter of TNHighSchoolFootball.com. Visit the online Ford Superstore at tworiversford.com. You can give them a call. Easy number to remember, 800-900-1000. John Barker's Two Rivers Ford is home of the non-commissioned salesperson for a no-pressure buying experience. Get started at tworiversford.com. First down and 10. Gallatin leads Hendersonville 20-0 as the give goes to Spencer Briggs on a jet sweep. He torpedoes his way into a sea of white and black jerseys. Just a yard past the line of scrimmage. Cut that one upfield and try to make the most out of a nice defensive play. Spencer Briggs, Jonathan Parks, has been held under 100 yards once this season. It was against Wilson Central in a win. Don't have the official total, but I'd say he's well over that mark already tonight. Second down, 9 at the 48 of Hendersonville, and another flag flies. Gallatin jumped again. So makes it second down and 14. Makes things a bit easier on a Hendersonville defense that needs a quick stop. And then a long score.
One thing about Briggs is we talk about how tough of a runner he is, but you know, he runs hard, but that toughness, just him able to do it time and time again and run the ball with just that forward lean and run people over. And the yards he gets after contact is just unbelievable.
Second down and 14. Banks on a play action. He'll chuck it deep, looking for Springer, and it's a step too far for the senior wideout to haul it in. Nice defense by number 9, Cody Booker. Gallatin takes a shot on second and long. Comes up empty, and it's third down and 14.
Gallatin had him beat right there. Just hit the fingertips of the receiver. Wasn't able to pull it in.
Third down and 15 as Gallatin breaks the huddle. 3 wide receivers. Banks in the shotgun. Fakes the screen pass to the right, now throws it over to the left. And it was thrown with so much velocity that it deflected off the hands of number 4, Jalen Grimmett, who already has a 47-yard touchdown grab tonight. So I believe for the first time tonight, Hendersonville gets off the field immediately with a 3-and-out, which is exactly what the doctor ordered if they can even think about trying to come back in this football game. Kelly back to punt. Newton will return. He stands with his heels at his own 11-yard line. Snap is good. Punt away. A high spiral that bounces at the Hendersonville 24. There is a flag behind the play in the position of A.J. Branham, the senior defensive lineman. And now our head umpire will jog over to the referee to see what the call is. Ball rests at the Hendersonville 24-yard line. That's where the Commandos will set up shop. Let's see what the call is. And it is against Hendersonville. A personal foul is really going to put them behind the 8 ball even more. So they'll march that football back well inside the 20-yard line of the Commandos. This Gallatin defense that's already come up with 2 turnovers tonight. They had 6 turnovers against Hunters Lane. You know, those eyes start to get a little bit bigger when you get this deep in your opponent's territory. New quarterback in the game for Hendersonville. That's Luke Manning, the sophomore. And it's a running back pass. They handed it off to Isaiah Chandler, but before he could throw it away, James Mason slings him to the turf. I don't know what Hendersonville saw there, but Gallatin was perfectly positioned, and it's a big loss all the way back to the Hendersonville 4-yard line, a loss of about 10.
Hendersonville trying to do a jet pass is what we would normally call that. But in order to run the jet pass, you have to run the jet full speed and get outside and set yourself up and able to throw the football, and he just didn't do that.
Give goes right back up the middle as they go back under center, and no room again. Stafford carries right behind the center and gets maybe a yard, and it's 3rd down and a long 17 for a Hendersonville offense that just has no answer for a dominant Gallatin D.
And I don't know how many offensive coordinators have a play for 3rd and 17.
Nope. Under center is Manning. Gives to Spurrier, running right side, and Spurrier has no chance. Tackled in open space by James Mason. He gets back to the 8-yard line. But the home crowd applauding their Green Wave defense, who have not given up an inch after a long opening drive to start the second half.
This Green Wave defense is very, very good. I've been impressed with them since week 1. We've seen them 3 times now, and it's just amazing how they communicate, how they celebrate.
Carter O'Brien standing from his own goal line, punts it away. It's not a long kick. It bounces at the Hendersonville 30 and goes out of bounds right in front of the away sideline at the 32-yard line. The 26-yard punt from O'Brien, and you can hear it. The home fans know that their team is just a couple minutes away from a big victory over their crosstown non-region rival.
Hendersonville has consistently shot themselves in the foot tonight. Getting backed up by that jet pass that got gobbled up 2 yards from the end zone and almost a safety, and now with that punt, just awful short. Gallatin in Hendersonville territory.
Banks in the shotgun, gives to Spencer Briggs, running up the middle inside the 30, but he's pile driven. Back down to the turf. Got a yard. Give credit to J.D. Jordan, the 5'10 nose tackle. It's been everywhere for Hendersonville tonight. Got maybe more than a yard. Give him 3, maybe a long 2. At the 29-yard line of Hendersonville, it's 2nd down and 8. Gallatin, with 8 minutes to play in this one, leads the Commandos 20-0. Banks sends a man in motion. Gives to Briggs running right side. Briggs has some room inside the 25, through a couple of tacklers, and inside the 20. And there it is again. Yards after contact. Big number 6 does not go down the first time you get an arm on him.
Not sure if Coach Watson's wanting to get him in the end zone one last time on senior night. But it's this point in the game where you want to think about, we got a big game coming up next week, and I need everybody healthy.
Play gains 9. It's 1st down and 10. Gallatin at the Hendersonville 19. Banks gets the snap, gives to Briggs, running up the middle. 15, 10. And he's muscled backwards by a duo of Evan Zecco and one of the other linebackers for Hendersonville. It was Trevor Thornberry. See some hands on hips for a Hendersonville defense that's been on the field a lot in this second half now.
My hands would be on my hips if
Well,
I had to tackle him that many times.
My hands are on my hips up here, and I haven't tackled anybody.
Thinking about that Dairy Queen
I'm just
cake.
glad to know who has the football. Flexbone ain't no joke, Jonathan Parks. 2nd down and 1 after a gain of 9. Ball at the 11. It is Malachi McDowell up the middle, and he just dives into the pile for a 1st down inside the 10-yard line at the 9. Calling a wing T game is like mental jumping jacks. Would you agree?
It's very, very tricky.
Well, you're running camera over here, too, so you're following the ball and also analyzing it. You're a man of many talents.
Learn it from you. Will
Oh,
Bowling.
stop.
Learn it from you.
1st down and goal. I'll correct myself. 3rd down and 1. Thought he easily had the 1st down there, but referees disagreed, and now big number 6 is back in the backfield. Banks gives it to him all the way. It's Briggs. He's got his 1st down. He's moving the pile inside the 5. And he's finally thrown backwards by Zecco and Porter. Nevertheless, it's another 1st down to move the chains with under 6 minutes inside the 5-yard line. And at this point, you just give it a number 6 probably 4 times and wrap this one up right here. 20-0. As Gallatin breaks the huddle one more time. Montez Banks with Spencer Briggs on his right side. It's Briggs running left, cuts it up the middle behind a convoy of blockers. Spencer Briggs into the end zone again. You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him. Number 6 gets another 6, and it's a rout tonight in a Sumner County showdown.
We talked about that skip pull by the Gallatin offensive guards earlier, and when there's nobody to block, you just keep going straight ahead. Briggs was able to get right behind that guard and pretty much walk into the end zone untouched.
There's an injured Gallatin offensive lineman. That's Nicholas Stowicki, the 6'1", 275-pound senior. A couple of coaches and 2 members of the training staff are out to tend to him. Clock is stopped at 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Extra point upcoming for the Gallatin Green Wave. They'll end the streak, and now since 2010, make it 6-5 for the green and yellow against their crosstown rivals here in Sumner County, as Stowicki's back on his feet and be helped off the field with the assistance of a couple of coaches.
Yeah, he's hurting.
These are 2 good programs here locally, but you think about this game over the past couple of years, albeit with a different coaching staff on the home sidelines. Hendersonville outscored Gallatin 77-21 the last 2 seasons, including a 35-0 victory last year. Gallatin's last win in the rivalry back in 2016, a 49-20 win. Before that, you had to go back to 2013. Gallatin beat a Hendersonville team that made the state championship. 39-36. Hendersonville that year lost to Maryville in the state championship, but had an excellent team. But This is one of Middle Tennessee's premier rivalries. Some great players have played in this game, and Gallatin is now going to get a win back. Delay of game going to be called as the Gallatin coaches can't believe it. I think they thought that should have been run from 40 seconds instead of 25, I believe, after the penalty. I don't know if the clock ever even started.
I don't think it started.
No. Well, no. Back it up 5 more yards. Snap, the set, the kick, a line drive, and it is good. So your score, 5 minutes, 30 seconds to play tonight. Much to the pleasure of the home crowd at the Wave Yard. It's Gallatin 27 and Hendersonville nothing. John Barker's Two Rivers Ford is a proud sponsor of TNHighSchoolFootball.com. Visit the online Ford Superstore at tworiversford.com and jot down their phone number. It's so easy to remember. 800-900-1000. John Barker's Two Rivers Ford is home of the non-commissioned salesperson for a no-pressure buying experience. Get started at tworiversford.com. Talking to you tonight on a brisk fall October evening. Alongside Coach Jonathan Parks, Will Bowling with you on week number 9 of the TNHighSchoolFootball.com Game of the Week. Some good options in week 10. We only got to do this 2 more times. Feels like just yesterday we were starting our season right here in this very same press box. It feels very full circle coming back at the end of the year. Yeah. We're very nostalgic about this. Trace Kelly is preparing to boot it back into the Sumner County night sky, where a duo of returners await. Isaiah Chandler and David Johnson have their heels at their own 5-yard line. It's booted away, and Johnson will take it and has to retreat back into his own end zone. Now the referee will wave his arm above his head, signaling for a touchback, and Hendersonville starts at its own 20 with 5.5 minutes to play in this one.
Gallatin still leaving their first-string defense in.
Yep. Hendersonville made a change at quarterback on its previous possession, going to the sophomore Luke Manning. I've got to say, it was kind of weird saying Manning handing off to Spurrier. As a guy that's a Tennessee graduate, I don't know. There's something about that in my head that just didn't really add up. Hendersonville breaks the huddle. Commandos in the white jerseys with the white pants, black numerals and yellow outline. Gallatin in their Green Bay Packers look-alike strip. Looks good. Manning fakes the throw to the right side, throws to his left, where he's got Stafford complete. And then I reversed it. He faked to his left and threw to his right.
Fake the swing, turn around, hit the tunnel screen.
Gain of about 7 up to the 27-yard line.
I like how they did that because they kept it all in the same wing T-ish playbook. It was very nice, very nicely done.
2 receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. Tight end split out beside the left tackle. Manning to throw all the way, throws it right side. He's complete. Once again to Stafford, who has his first down across the 30 to the 33. A quick tackle made by Solomon Yarbrough in coverage. And the clock ticks now under 5 minutes to 4 minutes 45 seconds as Hendersonville tries to piece together some positives on its final possession, trailing the crosstown rivals of Gallatin 27-0. Playoff time just around the corner. Boy, is that hard to believe. Shotgun for Manning. Takes the sweep, now gives to Spurrier, running right side, 35-40. Has his first down up to the Gallatin, still the Hendersonville 45. I like the look of Logan Spurrier, 6'1", 170. The senior caught a nice pass on the opening possession for Hendersonville, carries for 15 more. And it's just one of the many threats that the Commandos have in this backfield that still has a lot to build on. I mean, there's a lot of talent on this roster and such a confusing and deceptive offense that has just been held by a nice defense. Manning back to throw again. There's a flag. This one's going to come back for holding as Manning throws it over the middle, incomplete, intended for Nevin DeGraff.
And that's one thing that happens when you hang on to the football too long. Your offensive linemen don't know what's going on behind you. They're trying to keep you safe as the quarterback, but when you hang on to that football and they don't know what's going on, defenses start shifting with the quarterback, and then you end up getting a holding call. Oh.
See what it is. Holding against the offense. And a personal foul roughing the passer called against Gallatin. Those penalties offset. They'll replay the down. I don't know about roughing the passer there. Manning was blindsided by a couple of Green Wave defenders. Huh.
Must be something in the air.
Yeah. We'll try it again. 1st and 10. Hendersonville from its own 45. They fake the jet sweep. Manning steps up in the pocket, throws left side, almost intercepted.
And we're going to get another roughing the passer.
Yep. The home crowd cannot believe it. Can't blame him. Trustin Kemp shrugs his arms as he peers over to his head coach. You can hear the chorus of boos from the Green Wave faithful sitting below us. That's a 15-yard penalty. It's not going to impact the result of this game whatsoever. But, you know, got to play all 48 minutes.
Manning with some great footwork right there. Moving around in the pocket, stepping up. Delivered a strike just a little high. Gallatin trying to get to him and hit him a little late right as he let go of the football.
3:46 to play. 1st down and 10. Hendersonville at the Gallatin 40. They fake the run again. Manning has a wide open Spurrier in the flat. 30, 25, 20, 15, and he scampers out of bounds. They fake the jet sweep. Then they bring all the action to the near side, and standing all alone with 2 blockers ahead of him was Logan Spurrier for a pickup of 25 yards.
And when you have a team that has an aggressive defense like Gallatin, little changes in your footwork will create the defense, make the defense shift to the opposite side of the field while the play is going on, and that's exactly what happened. Hendersonville doing a good job of setting up that opportunity for themselves.
Timeout, Gallatin. With 3 minutes and 35 seconds to play in this one, they lead 27-0. Hendersonville has 1st and 10 at the Green Wave 11 coming up in just a moment. But first, we'll tell you again that our 4th quarter tonight is brought to you by our friends at Two Rivers Ford. Their number's so easy to remember, 800-900-1000. You can also check out their selection online. Head to tworiversford.com. They're home of the non-commissioned salesperson for a no-pressure buying experience. Once again, that's tworiversford.com. John Barker's Two Rivers Ford, a proud supporter of TNHighSchoolFootball.com. Gallatin's defense jogs back out onto the field with 3.5 minutes separating them from another shutout win. And these fans are not going to like if Hendersonville puts points on the board here, partly because of the call that put them deep in Gallatin territory, but they want a shutout. A win ain't enough, especially when you've done it 6 times already this year. Spurrier on the jet sweep, right side out of the wing tee, inside the 5, and close to his 1st down to about the 2-yard line. There's some confetti that just went off below us, too.
Student section's getting really excited for Gallatin.
Play picked up 9. It's 2nd down and 1 at the 2. Hendersonville breaks the huddle. In that wing tee set, trio of tailbacks. It's a quarterback sneak right up the middle. I don't believe he got much of anything. He might have a 1st down. He's certainly short of the goal line. As Drew Hohenbrink came back in to run that one. Clock now ticking below 3 minutes.
Gallatin doing a great job just plugging gaps. And
it's going to be a 3rd down.
You look at number 56 for Gallatin, and that center is going to have a hard time moving him. 55. We talked about him earlier. That's a whole lot of boy right there.
55, Michael Brinkley, listed at 5'11", 370 pounds.
You move him, because I won't.
No thanks. That's why I'm up here. 3rd down and 1. Hohenbrink breaks the huddle. Under center. Quarterback sneak again. The initial push doesn't get any momentum. The second push puts him into the end zone. Touchdown, Hendersonville. With 2 minutes, 36 seconds, the Commandos find the end zone for the first time tonight. So now Gallatin, 2.5 minutes from 8-0. Well, unfortunately for them, miss out on another shutout, but you've got to give a lot of credit to that defense for coming to play tonight. Hendersonville breaks the huddle. They're going to go for 2 here. Shotgun formation for Hohenbrink. Fakes the give left, throws back to his right, complete. 2-point conversion's good. Keon Stafford in the flat. Hauls it in. And your score now with 2 minutes, 36 seconds to play. It's Gallatin 27 and Hendersonville 8.
I think Hendersonville might have found something with Manning at quarterback.
Hohenbrink came back in to throw that 2-point conversion and sneak it a couple of times. But Luke Manning, the 5'9 sophomore, showed some good things on that drive and slung it around the field pretty successfully.
Oh, yeah. It's just hard to get a good push in the middle of that Green Wave defense.
Tell you about some other scores from around the area. Brentwood leading Franklin 26-0. Oak Ridge coming from East Tennessee leading Mount Juliet 34-27. CPA 31, Good Pasture 7. Tight one in Murfreesboro. Oakland only has a 10-point lead on Riverdale. 17-7. That one's in the third quarter. That's the first time Oakland's been in a tight game all year. Cookeville 19, Siegel 14. Lipscomb 14, Franklin County 7. Cornersville 20, Richland 14. And I beg your pardon, Mount Juliet has scored to tie it up, 34-34. A barn burner out there in Wilson County.
Get ready for a onside kick right here.
Junior kicker Andrew Martin, about 3 paces behind the football, now takes 2 slide steps to his left. Preparing the onside kick. Kicks it up the middle, but there's a whistle here, and I think he was ahead of the football before he ran up to kick it.
Definitely can't do it that way.
Gallatin's coaches were all over it. They started to protest, and then finally the referee on this near sideline flung the flag in the air. The call is illegal procedure. As we expected, they'll pace it back 5 yards. Gallatin's coaches kind of won that one right there.
Definitely. They
give them credit. It's the right call.
Having it.
Now Hendersonville will huddle. Never seen this. They'll huddle before the onside kick. Decide which side to kick it to or what the plan is. Gallatin has 3 players on the near side, 6 to the far side, and 1 linebacker standing right at midfield. They kick it to the right. Takes a couple of bounces off a Hendersonville player and into the arms of the Green Wave. You could not kick it much better if you're Andrew Martin, but it's all academic at this point anyway. Gallatin gets the football, and now all they have to do is run the ball a couple of times to cement this victory. It's a good kick, though.
Makes you wonder how many times has he practiced that onside kick.
It's a weapon. I mean, seriously, you think about what to build on, and got that in your back pocket. Never know when you might need it. Give a lot of credit to Montez Banks. Stepped in for the injured Isaiah Briscoe a couple of weeks ago at quarterback. Banks has been excellent tonight. He gives to Spencer Briggs running up the middle. in Hendersonville territory up to the 43-yard line. Gallatin continues to lead now 27-8.
And I'm shocked that Briggs is still in the ballgame.
I am too. This game's been done for about a quarter now.
Say it was done after the second drive of the second half.
That's exactly what we said. The second it got to 3 possessions, you really starting to think about just how tough it would be to play against this Gallatin defense from that far behind. Play gains 3, second down and 7. Briggs carrying up the middle again. Gets 2 yards up to the 40. Especially for a guy that was hurt earlier in this game. I'm surprised as well to see him still running out there.
Tough young man. Very tough young man.
They don't get much better than number 6 in green and yellow. Now he'll slap hands with Malachi McDowell and jog off the field. A job well done. And you hear the applause from the home fans appreciating their senior tailback's effort tonight.
McDowell's fun to watch.
He is. Also a senior. Send the tight end in motion, left to right side. McDowell carries up the middle, and he's swallowed up. No gain. John Rux makes the tackle, and Hendersonville uses its first time out of the second half. Stops the clock at 1 minute and 2 seconds. So Gallatin is 1 minute and 2 seconds away from being 8-0. Doesn't get any easier, though. Perhaps the biggest game on its schedule is next week. On the road at Beach for a game that will very likely decide the Region 6 5A championship. It's going to be a good one. Hendersonville will drop to 3-5, but it's played some fantastic teams, as we mentioned earlier, including this Gallatin group. Couple of region matchups left for them in Region 4 6A. They'll get Rossview next week, and they'll finish their season against Mount Juliet. So as the green fog billows in the wind, it's 4th down and 4, and Gallatin's going for it. It's a flea flicker. Banks chucks it deep. It's intercepted. J.D. Jordan has it. And now the linebackers running to the near side. Jordan, 40, 45, midfield. And down to the Gallatin 46-yard line. Banks was hit as he threw. It deflected off the hand of Mason, who then hauled it in. Or Jordan, rather, not Mason. There is a flag, though, in the defensive backfield.
Probably a good thing that green fog came through, because that play did not develop the way the Green Wave wanted it to.
It's holding against Hendersonville. So that'll bring the return back a little bit. Coach Parks, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's almost like when Hendersonville, oh no, that's holding on the defense before the ball was thrown, so the pick doesn't count. It's going to be Gallatin football once again, and now they can just take a knee. Wow, the interception erased, but I was going to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed almost like when Hendersonville took that timeout, Gallatin said, okay, you want to extend the game? We're going to take a shot.
And I don't disagree with it.
Not at all.
Trying to keep guys healthy, got a big game next week.
Supposed to be fun too, right? 1st and 10 with 50 seconds left. McDowell carries up the middle. And Jordan makes another nice tackle.
What if they would have ran the same play?
Was halfway expecting another shot there. In a rivalry game, it's the stuff you love about high school football, and there's a 1 second difference between the play clock and the game clock. So Gallatin just has to snap it one more time. They're going to be 8-0. Hugs being given between the coaching staff and the players down to the near sideline. The fans have risen to their feet. Montez Banks in a crouch right behind the center, takes the snap in everybody's favorite victory formation. Kneels the football, and as the final seconds tick down on the clock, tonight, Gallatin, supreme in Sumner County. The final from Calvin Shortfield. The Green Wave defeat the Commandos of Hendersonville, 27-8. For the third time this year, the TNHighSchoolFootball.com Game of the Week was the Spencer Briggs Show. His 55-yard touchdown run in the first quarter would have almost been enough to win this game on its own. But the Gallatin defense once again only gives up its 29th point of the year tonight. They dominate again, and they look the real deal in 5A.
I think it's safe to say that the Green Wave is alive again in Gallatin.
Gallatin will make the playoffs for the 39th time. They fell in the first round to Shelbyville 42-19 last year. They're going to have a more sustained run this season. You can almost guarantee that. A little bit of spirited discussion going on between some coaches, some players in the handshake line.
Probably discussing a timeout.
Yep. That last flea flicker up 19 will be hotly discussed at the midfield logo for a moment or two. Last time Gallatin was in a state title, it was 1992, a 21-13 win back in the AAA classification over the Dragons of Clinton High School from East Tennessee. We said in our Week 1 broadcast, we said it earlier today, I'll say it now, this team is as good as anybody in 5A. It is going to be a tough out for anyone, and they've got their hopes set on Cookeville now at 8-0 with another win over a Sumner County rival and another one coming up next week for region championship against Beach.
You know, you talk about all the success that Gallatin has had this season, and you just don't want to start celebrating yet, because next week will be an atmosphere that they haven't been in. It's against another undefeated team, and they're going to have their hands full next week, and it's going to be one heck of a game.
The Gallatin students, their players, they sing the alma mater. They were victorious for the 8th time in as many games here tonight. Well, for all of us here in our Week 9 broadcast, we got to do this 2 more times, Jonathan Parks. We're back on the road next Friday. Let us know in the comments. Let us know on Twitter at TNHSFB where our next broadcast location should be. But this one, once again, for the second time here at Calvin Shortfield, was a lot of fun.
It was definitely a lot of fun and not a disappointment at all.
If you're watching live, you can also find this stream right here. This is archived directly on our Facebook page at TN High School Football. And stay tuned. We'll announce our next broadcast location Monday afternoon as we figure out where we're headed in more playoff football coming up, which will be decided in week number 10. But for all of our crew here at TN High School Football, thanks so much for joining us on a fantastic fall Friday night in Sumner County, Tennessee. Once again, your final score, it's Gallatin 27, and it's Hendersonville 8. For all of us here at TN High School Football, so long. We'll talk to you next week.